Good evening and welcome to an exciting race. It's wonderful to be here. It's a privilege and a pleasure to commentate, and thank you for SpeedGaming as always for setting it up. We have a spicy one here today. I'm not super familiar with Mr. Anthony, but I think he has a 106. Vicious, I don't know if he has the time on the leaderboard in the no out of bounds category. He is a Dark Moon speedrunner. So this is going to be a very interesting race. Let me pull up those controls so I can do some fun stuff, hopefully.
Yo.
Hello, Mr. Kai. Welcome in.
What's up, Big Max?
Not much, man. It is good to be here. It is absolutely great to be here.
I agree, dude. The match I was just commentating, I just hopped from it. It's still not even done, but I had to dip early to hop into this race. That one was insane. Like they're still neck and neck, and it's been the entire race. Like the farthest they were apart was 20 seconds. It was insane. The entire match.
What is
like
the run, or what was the matchup?
It was Jay versus Bro Mario, but it looks like our runners are starting actually.
They are on the way. They are off, and it looks like Anthony Vicious' screen will catch up. Anthony HMTNJ, it's gonna be a mouthful. We're just gonna call him Anthony. Is going in, is going to light those candles, and we're going to get it started. Again, a 106 for Anthony. Vicious going through the right door, but that's for luck. That's for luck. Zircon, just avert your eyes.
Wow. Is it just me, or is his game lagging a lot?
Vicious's game is probably lagging quite a bit. It'll pick back up unless I've got hope. But we're in. We're in at 80%. This isn't my ball of wax. Everybody knows I'm a 100% player. Maybe some of you don't. I see some new faces on this tournament, which I think is actually fantastic. So shout outs to anybody playing the game for the first time or playing the tournament for the first time. It is a wonderful game. And for those of you who have never played this game, you really should give it a shot, even casually or as a speed game. It's actually pretty rewarding. Technical, it's annoying, but it's very rewarding. And Kai, why don't you introduce yourself? A little bit about yourself, your background, while we get through some of these preliminary rooms, and then we'll get into mechanics.
I gotcha. So I'm Kai Runs. I speedrun Luigi's Mansion. I've been doing it for about 3 years now. I recently got a 55, and I'm still going. I'm still playing the game, and I mean, commentating is really fun, and I figured I'd do it a lot this year. So I'm here to help explain the game and commentate on some of these newcomer runners that are learning the game for the first time.
Congratulations, by the way, on 55. That's not easy at all. I want everybody to understand that 55 and no out of bounds is a feat. And so Vicious, go ahead and clean up that first room. We got our runners going into ante room. Anthony with a pretty nice ante room. The double was a little slow, but I mean for 106 or whatever, like that's a great way to do it. Picking up those strats are hard, and you just kind of make changes as you go. You kind of shave time off here and there. But like I said, the game looks easy. It looks like you just turn around and flash a ghost, but there's a lot of positioning and weird movement that you got to do. So give these runners some credit when they pull off these doubles.
Did Anthony miss a double, or has it been pretty clean for him so far?
I think it's been pretty clean. I think he got, like I said, I think he got both doubles. He got he definitely got the second set of doubles, and I think he got the first set. He just had to lead him to the wall, which there was nothing wrong with that. I just tell by the entry into wardrobe room. So Anthony has a nice, decent lead here. Vicious doing singles right now. Again, Vicious is a Dark Moon runner, and so this is a completely different game. But I think he has red there helping him out, and Vicious is a good player. I mean, if you can play Dark Moon at second place, I think you can do this. Although it is an entirely different game.
Giving him a little problem.
And we're in our first portrait ghost. So the way this run's going to work, there are portrait ghosts and there are standard ghosts. This is our first portrait ghost. There's quite a few of them, 19 to be exact, 4 area bosses for a total of 23. It's been a while since I played this game, so just correct me. It's going to make me feel sad if I'm wrong. And each portrait ghost kind of has a thing that you have to do to get them to show their hearts. So you can suck them up. Like you can't just flash them like a normal ghost. And so some of them are easier than others. Some of them you got to do some weird things. This one's you just open up a drape and you let it draft in and you ruin this poor woman's evening. But others are a little bit more technical. The pearls don't matter. The money doesn't matter. not in this category, so they're not going to be picking it up. Just all about speed. And so while Vicious' game lags a little bit, that's really unfortunate because I think he stuttered out and then that other ghost came in to hit him. I can't tell if it's the game or if it's the internet that's lagging.
I think it's
or a mixture of both.
Because his live split looks fine.
Is he running it on emulator or something?
I think he's running it on emulator, and I know depending on your setup, the game can run faster or slower compared to other people.
Definitely feels like the game itself is having some choppiness. It's like he's playing in a slow-mo. Anthony not going for Laser Crusader. Not a big deal. Laser Crusader would have saved this little text part that we have here. And we're going into our first area boss. Yep, that's it. Our first area boss that quick. And it is Chauncey. And as we get into the more technical things, we'll explain it. The booze, the ghost, the R pumps, the radar, the medallion. We'll get there. But for right now, just know that they're flashing ghosts and sucking them up.
Now, Chauncey can actually be a pretty hard ghost now. Usually, or before, it was pretty simple, but I don't know if I'd say it's relatively new. It is actually about a little over a year and a half old now, but you can one cycle Chauncey, and I wonder if Anthony's going to go for it.
Does he go for it?
I'm unsure.
We'll find out. It is a really hard trick. Shoutouts to Pike and Glitch Doctor, our boy Glitch PhD, Nick, for finding the trick. No,
he's not.
Okay. I don't blame you.
So Chauncey one cycle, you've got to release the R trigger and repress it within a few frame window, and you can re-grab Chauncey and finish him off in one go. It saves like 33 seconds, but again, it's really hard, and I mean, to be honest, it's really inconsistent. Gloomy leaving the key behind in wardrobe room.
Yeah, I wonder if he thought that it was going to enter the vacuum because of how close it got, but it definitely trolled him there. He also doesn't have map glitch turned on. Oh, boy. Well, come on, Red. Of all that time sitting in the lobby, why don't you tell him to turn the map glitch on? Anthony with a nice 2-cycle on Chauncey. Pretty decent area one time. If you missed the Chauncey 1 cycle, it actually, you might as well have just went for the 2 cycles. So unless you're really consistent with it, I wouldn't even touch it. And consistency is not exactly the way that trick goes. We have a lot of top runners that still miss that trick, so definitely a hard trick. But that was it. That was area 1. So Anthony, well off to lead, as you can tell. Vicious is just getting into the book boss, getting hit by the book. Oh no, he played peekaboo with Neville, and so now he's gonna have to wait again. There we go. All right, he's got Neville. And not the book. It drags him over toward the right side. So you put his back to the book, and then the backdraft of the vacuum starts to get the book in, but since you're not facing the book, it kind of just hits him in the back. So definitely not a good idea to turn your back to objects in this game. That will happen more often than not. But cleans it up, and he'll be on to Lydia. Wow, man, it's been so long since I played. Lydia, as Anthony's going into Area 2, which pretty much kickstarts the game. Area 2 is kind of where the run, well, nobody wants to be in Area 1, right? So, once you get to Area 2, you actually feel pretty good. Let's just put it that way.
Gloomy actually grabbing the fake door in the hallway as well.
This has got to be just an unfamiliarity with the game.
I mean, it happened to me.
Or sometimes you just forget, right? You think you went all the way to the end, and then you did. Nice double there, shaking off the grabber. Note that those grabbers grab you, but they don't do any damage. Not those ones, not the white ones. We'll find some ones later that will. Did he drop Lydia?
He did. He accidentally let go of Lydia as soon as the suck up began.
All right, reopening that window, draft part 2, electric boogaloo, and now we got it. So there's the grab. Thank you.
No 6-piece, which respectable. 6-piece only saves about 1 second over optimal 2 pieces.
Yeah, and you gotta be good on it. You gotta be spot on the 6 piece. If you mess it up or anything like that, you're really not saving time. And these have actually been some really good doubles. Come on, and excellent doubles there from Anthony. So I'm not even worried about it. And I'll say hi to you in just a second, SVSSO. But it is a pleasure to see you, and thank you so much for this right here. Let's see if he gets it, and then we'll explain it. All right, he
Did
didn't
not
get
get
it.
it. So you want to
No,
explain
you
it?
do it. You do it.
Okay,
You're my
so
technical guy.
early release is something we call. It's not really a strat. It's more of just a luck thing. But the
Don't tell
Worlindas,
Pablo that.
the
I love you,
Worlindas
Pablo.
have a random chance to show their heart 10 seconds early. It's a 50-50 chance. And if you just get unlucky, you're 10 seconds red. And I mean, we don't reset runs to it, but it's kind of annoying because, you know, you get through area 1, you do Chauncey 1 cycle after resetting to it, and then you just lose 10 seconds because you lost the coin toss.
Yeah, I think that especially the top runners, at least the way it was when I was popping in every once in a while. I know it's been a few months, but if you got Chauncey 1 cycle, didn't get ER, it would be up to tech skip. That's coming up when we release the booze here. Spoiler alert, my apologies. For any of you that haven't played the game, I'll catch myself on it. There's an inconspicuous poster here that we removed. If you saw him walk over to that wall and do that little weird foot movement, he was removing the poster on that button. People call it poster skip. I call it early suck. You know, it's got a few names. But now we're releasing the boost for some reason because you just have to start the game. And this first boo that we're going to catch really make or breaks it. So if you didn't get ER and you don't get this tech skip, a lot of top runners just reset. They say that's too much time loss. They say no, thank you. There's King Boo. That's my favorite. Everybody's favorite, King Boo. Except for what they did to him in that one game or that movie. Ugh.
I mean, while we sit through the text here, to be honest, if we're going to improve the record to a 53, I think you're going to have to reset to early release, parlor boo, tech skip, and boo double. You're going to have to get all 3 in order for that to be a possibility.
Why? When you say you're talking about actual boo double, like boo double, ballroom boo double, storage.
Yes.
Oh man, God. Now that's my kind of game. If you're telling me boo double has to be on the table, I need to start coming back and watching these runs.
Well, I mean, you know, Pablo's SOB is only a 53.04, so like, you know, you have to play within literally like 50 seconds of your SOB to get a 53. And
that's tight. Like 53 is tight, and yeah, I know what you mean. There's not a lot of wiggle room, especially in some of these parts.
Now it looks like Anthony's not going to get parlor boo tech skip. The boo was in the table, which means you cannot get the boo unless you pull the cloth off all the way, which means you cannot set up the tech skip. So we just have to live with the text.
And why is that? Like, so obviously there was the Boudar, it was red. One of them was the decoy, and then obviously there's a lump. I mean, like, how did he know? Obviously there's a lump, but explain how that kind of works. Well, we're watching Vicious tackle Chauncey.
This is
I
some
believe in
advanced.
Vicious.
This is some advanced boo tech here. If you pay attention really closely, you gotta grind it into you. But if you pay attention with tables that have cloths, when there's a lump on the table, that means either the boo or the decoy is in that table. The boo almost leaving into area 3 territory. That would have not have been good for Anthony there. But where was I at? Oh yes,
The boo in the table, boo tech.
Now, however, a lump can only form when the room is first loaded. So if you hear the boo switch and there's not a read on the table, that's guaranteed. You know, there's nothing in the table because I mean, there's a lump, yes, but that's because the boo was there and switched out. The lump doesn't deload or load back in. So if you've got a read on a table that has no lump, that means the boo switched into the table just now because the lump can't form when you've already loaded the room. So there's a lot of advanced tech you can look for when you're clearing rooms like kitchen.
Right, and that's a big one because people attempt to do tech skip. But basically, every time you enter a room that's lit, from now on, once you light up a room, that little radar above the Game Boy Horror will light up red when you are facing a boo. It's based off of the way Luigi is facing, and so it's not like a radius thing. It's not like around you. And so there's one boo per room and one decoy per room, and you're obviously trying to find the boo. And so If you hear the boo switch, it'll make a little laughing noise. That's when that whole lump thing comes into play. If there was a lump, he's now out of the lump. If there wasn't a lump, he's now most likely in the table. I mean, there's some variants with different rooms because he doesn't always have to go into the object with the lumpable, but he usually does.
Now, I do think this is actually not a bad run for Anthony here.
No, this is actually a great start. He has, like I said, he has a 106, and I think he's off to a tremendous start. I mean, the RNG's been pretty okay. If he would have got tech skip, he would have been on like what I would consider like a really good run. But I mean, his area 1 was fantastic in terms of it. He didn't miss a single 2-piece. ER he didn't get. So like, there's a couple of like just aw shucks time saves, but other than that, he's been spot on. We just got to make sure that we got the fire warp, we get the butler cycle, and let's see how he tackles the hidden room.
I mean, again, early on, you don't need ER, you don't need tech skip. Like for example, my first ever tournament, I was on the verge of a 59, and I almost got a 58, and I didn't get ER, and I don't think I got tech skip either. I just didn't need it. So
yeah, the game has what I would consider like steps towards like the upper echelon, and so if you want to play at the highest level, you're pulling out all the stops, and the game feels like homework more than a game. Thank you guys in the chat. Oh, good evening, by the way, those who are just coming in. Thank you guys for being here Friday night. There's other places to be, but you're hanging out with us here at Luigi's Mansion. Almost grabbed that medallion. That was a clutch save. It hadn't loaded in yet on the ground with properties to be sucked. Otherwise, that medallion would be in his vacuum right now. We wouldn't be seeing this save warp. But he is going to grab the medallion and save warp, and this cuts out a huge amount of time. How much time does it save, Kai?
I don't have a specific number in my head, but I can list the reasons why it's faster. So, one, when you pick up the medallion, you talk to EGAD and he explains it to you, and then you have to solve a puzzle to leave the room. If you warp out, the game assumes you already have the fire medallion, so EGAD doesn't call you or anything because you basically just soft reset the console to skip it. And not only that, but it resets the butler's position in the hallway. Now, this allows you to actually activate the butler when he's very close to the end of the hall if you get really fast candles, and that makes the butler cycle way quicker than it normally would be. So it can save like 10 to 15 seconds, something like that.
Right. And so as you saw there, as Anthony got up the hallway, the butler wasn't right at the edge of the hallway, and that was because the candles were a little slow. He also didn't vac cancel off. There's some things, but like, give the dude credit because he's having an amazing start. I am not in the tournament. I know it's really unfortunate. I haven't had a lot of time. I would be the most rusty player ever. Not to mention, I have never completed a single run of no out of bounds, and I've actually made it a thing that I have to get my hundo to like sub 114 or something. It's at least sub 115, and I'll do some out of bounds, or some no out of bounds, I should say.
If you get a 114, I'm pretty sure you can get a 59 pretty easily. So
yeah, that was my goal. My goal was I wanted to actually just come out and first run sub hour, and then I could actually say easiest sub hour of my life, and it'll make sense.
Anthony is finishing laundry, made it to butler in time, which I mean that can be hard sometimes if you get a really good butler cycle. So
it can. He had some leeway, and as you saw, he flashed the butler, and the butler was stunned. You can do that, but if for some reason the butler stops doing his little happy dance that he put the fire out and he disappears, you now have to go all the way back up the hallway, relight his candles, and watch him walk all the way back down again. And so it is a tremendous time loss, but it didn't happen, and we just saw a intentional boot tech skip that is a Japanese exclusive. You've probably seen the language. We run it on Japanese for a couple of reasons, and what are those reasons, Mr. Kai?
So the reason why we run on Japanese is actually because, one, we have the Japanese text, which does scroll faster. And not only that, there are a few Japanese exclusive glitches you can use, like the text skip we just saw. If you enter a mouse hole during a boo suck up, EGAD actually won't call you when you come out the other side of the mouse hole. I guess for some reason the game only sees like what the current action is. So when you exit a mouse hole, it doesn't register that EGAD's supposed to call. And we can abuse that to our advantage.
It's one of the only boot tech skips we're going to be able to see that doesn't involve sucking up something else at the end of it, which is why that table was so important. So in that first room, we were talking about the big, don't get poisoned. Hold on. Oh no,
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh, he did get poisoned, so the boo's gonna go into the kitchen.
It's okay. At least it went to the kitchen. I mean, it's there. Like, let's be real. So first of all, the hidden room, by the way, if you noticed, Anthony waited because he saw he fired the ghost too much. The last ghost he popped up, the fourth one, he hit it with fire, so he couldn't actually get the quad, and so he just burned them all again and then got the triple, which I thought was an amazing tech. So good on him for not actually going for it. He actually had an insta read on the chest in front of him, but he didn't get it. And I think Gloomy didn't get ER. I think he actually maybe was off the platform, and now we're doing a long con here with the dancers. Does he not?
Yeah, there's a lot of small details about this game that can lose you time, and if you're not on the platform with the Rolindas, they actually won't show their heart.
And the game doesn't tell you any of this, by the way. I want you to understand that. I think if you like scan the heart or whatever, because that's supposed to be your key of like how to figure it out when you're casually playing through the game. It says like I don't know. It says like something like dance with us or something. I don't even know if it's that self-explanatory. You kind of just have to do things. It's the game doesn't hold your hand a whole lot. It really doesn't. Those are some good notes, though.
No, like one of my favorite ones. I'll actually leave it for later, but there's a lot of small things in this game where the game makes you figure it out. It almost treats it like a puzzle for casual players.
Again, if anybody in here has not played this game before, even casually, this is the original Luigi's Mansion off the GameCube. You can play it for a Wii. You don't have to mod the Wii if you don't want to play in Japanese. You don't have to play it in Japanese if you're speedrunner type stuff. It is a wonderful casual playthrough. It's got some of the most unique vacuuming and controlling ever. And if you played the other Luigi Mansions, like the newer ones, and you haven't played this, it's like a whole different world. The vacuuming really makes it fun. It puts you in the driver's seat. Like, you have to control the vacuum. It's directional based, so you're pulling back wherever opposite of the way the ghost is running or facing. So it's up to you. You want good pumps, you got to pull the right direction.
Now we are in kitchen. Hopefully Anthony remembers that there are 2 boos in this room.
He's on it.
There is a lot of advanced like boo tech. Like, you can learn, like, for example, I'm pretty sure the boo just switched into the dishwasher. I could tell because you can just barely see that from where you pick up water. That was one of the boos, though. I'm not sure about the other boo. It looks like to me they're both left side. So this is one of the boos, which is the laundry boo. And then the kitchen boo is going to be on the left side in the cloth, unless if he switches again.
Yeah, it's definitely in the table.
And he switched out of the table. Oh, now
right at the last second.
Now notice the boo switched out of the table. Watch when we go to the left side of the room. You'll notice the lump is still in the table, but there's nothing in there.
Vicious now releasing the boos and joining us to the Boo Mansion, and there's the lump. So that's exactly what we were talking about in terms of the way the game works. He was in the lump. The lump was loaded. That's how you knew there was at least a decoy or something in there. Anthony watering the plant, commendable, absolutely commendable.
Yeah, save the plants, definitely.
You watered that plant 2 more times, buddy, and I'm gonna hug you.
I don't know if we'll quite water it 2 more times. That's a bit too much. That's a bit too much time.
We're not watering it 2 more times. You got a PB to get. Don't worry about it. But I do commend you for watering it the first time.
We gave it a little bit of water, but I believe that is all it needs.
That's all it's gonna get.
All right, let's see. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying we're coming up to Area 2 Graveyard. Oh,
he was a little too far to the right, and so that other skeleton thinks he's close enough to hit him. That's something you got to be wary about when you're doing that double. Is if you move too far right, that other skeleton won't come over.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to stun the ghost there and wait for the one to slide over and go for the non-TAS GUI double. And it saves a lot of time, especially over singles. But like Kai was saying, just slightly too far to the right, and it wouldn't position him. wouldn't come over. So still a good run. We're going into Bogmire. This is everybody's. Never mind. Casually, it's a hard boss, but Boolos is a nightmare for casual runners. This is still a breaker for some of the early speedrunners, though. Bogmire has pull like no other. We just talked a little bit about the vacuum mechanics. You have to pull the opposite direction, and Bogmire takes you for a spin. He does not hold up on the way he drags you. And if you're not doing precise 10 HPR pumps, which we'll explain that here in a bit, or, well, pumps, you might get taken. But it looks like Anthony's got it. Oh,
yeah, he broke off there.
He broke off.
I mean, again, Bogmire is really, he can pull you quite hard, and if you're not careful, you'll break off. But I mean, that was only about 6 or 7 seconds. It's not that bad.
No, still an amazing run. I mean, I'm not one of those pace pals. We need a pace pal in chat. I think I saw Mega Lightning, by the way. Hi, Mega Lightning. I'm sorry, I saw you earlier, and then I just got on the sidetrack, and then somebody asked me about if I was in the tournament. But it's good to see you here. I hope you've been well. I hope your runs have been good. I'm saying that now because I think you're a pace pal, and I believe in your ability to tell me how this run shapes up. Just like see into the future, 25 minutes, Bogmire, you know.
Is there a schedule? Do you mean a schedule for all of the upcoming races? Because if so, yes. It actually. I can probably. Oh, the link schedule. Oh yeah, you're looking for the timing. I could definitely.
Yeah, give him the. Even if you have to like do like a little Windows snippet or whatever of what it looks like.
Yeah, so this is the actual current schedule for the runs coming up. Okay, so now we are entering area 3. Casually, I think this might have been one of my favorite areas. There's just a lot that goes on that I enjoy. One of them being Courtyard, which we're about to do right now.
Yeah, we get a big spoiler here on the story. If anybody's been following, well, or trying to follow the story, I know we don't really get to like talk about the story much. But you're in a mansion and you're catching ghosts because some crazy old guy gave you a vacuum, and I guess Mario's also came here before you and he's missing. So it's up to Luigi to save the day, and so you haven't really seen any trace of him. You saw his hat, and you'll see some other items, but nobody knows where Mario is, or do we? Oh, what? Spoiler!
Holy crap, man! He's been here the whole time. That's insane.
He's right there. That's all you got to do, guys. You just got to saw off that little tooth right there, crawl in there, and you're good. No, I wish it was that easy.
Now when you're up, once you climb up this ladder and you're in Courtyard, you can actually hear Mario, and it sounds like gibberish. But if you remove all the background audio and you pay attention, Mario's actually saying things. He's like, Luigi, hurry up already. That's actually what he's saying, and they actually made him yelling for Luigi.
Oh no, it happened.
Oh, talking to Toad, scanning the floor.
We saw Anthony. If you guys remember it, he vacuumed the toilet. That is arguably the fastest. It saves 0.5 seconds or whatever it is. I prefer to knock on the toilet, which is what Vicious attempted to do, but he talked to Toad, and that is one of the reasons why people say don't knock on the toilet because you'll talk to him. It usually doesn't happen. Okay, you're not going to get me off the toilet just because one person talked to Toad. Sorry.
Oh, so T-Room can be a little annoying because you've got to grab some ghosts in here, and plates are flying at you and all that. And I mean, one of those ghosts despawns, you're looking at like several seconds, because if you get hit while sucking them up, they break off. I think the Boo just switched right next to Anthony, which is gnarly. Like, that's really good. I mean, again, I think this is a really good run for Anthony. Like he's going to be leaving ice in like the next 20 seconds. It's a sub 30 ice leave, which I think is Considering he has a 106, that's a pretty good run.
It is really fast. He needs to get this boo. It's in one of those right chairs.
I'm pretty sure it's on the left side because it
Yeah,
switched.
because the boo switched though. But I don't think he knows it. Oh, he's having trouble with this one. This one's getting him, and it's just switched again. Did it switch far left?
Oh, it switched into far left
It
after
did.
that. Oh, wow.
It did. Okay. So it went from an advantageous position. No, it's far left. It's in that drawer. It's everybody's worst position.
Yikes.
So the reason we don't like this is because you see right there, he got stuck on the chest. Most people set this room up with a tech skip, so they pull the tablecloth off. Oh, and then he. Well, explain the 15 cackle rule and why that happened.
So boos are programmed to have 15 times they cackle, and then no matter what, they're forced to leave. And if you hold both triggers on the vacuum element and the actual suck up, you can let go and repress the R trigger every 10 HP, and it soft locks the boo in place. So after you do that 15 times, the boo is required to leave. So any boo under 150 is pretty easy to one cycle. But if the boo goes too high, too low, if he's too far, or even too close, sometimes he cackles several times in one R pump, and that subtracts from the amount that you can actually drain his health. And the boo can leave. Now, luckily, the boo hid in this room, so again, he just has to find 2 boos in this room. So it's not that much of a time loss because he doesn't really have to track the boos down like you would if you, like, say, lose kitchen boo and it goes in the laundry. That's a little bit more troublesome.
Right. And so any boo pretty much under 150, like he said, is supposed to be what we call one cyclable. Obviously, there's some variance in that too, because top runners can one cycle quite a lot of boos and that are well above 150. So it just depends. But that's pretty much the rule. And most of the boos we're going to see are easily one cyclable. The reason why that boo was having such a problem was the multi cackles, because it was inside of the chest and he had a weird angle on it, and that'll happen. The correct thing would have been to just kind of let the boo go for a second and get some height out of those objects, and then try and grab them as he shifted. But that's why we don't like to see the boo on that left hand side. No tech skip unless you're really good at boo dragging, which is a super advanced strat. And you also run the risk of losing the boo. So Vicious getting the key, and then he left because I guess it's unfamiliarity with the game. But he's coming. He's trucking. I think he did fire room the normal way, which he actually did the puzzle. Really solid double there. Sometimes that is not an easy double, depending on where those ghosts spawn and where your positioning is. You will not spawn either the orange ghost or the shy guy, and so there's a possibility that happens. Let's see how Anthony handles the triple. Okay, so he just goes for the double, so doesn't fool around with it, and does a single into a double. Nothing wrong with that at all. As Vicious is going in for Butler cycle. And there's pretty much the R pumps in action right there. A little bit fast on those R pumps, but it's not really going to matter because 100 HP, so he's got 5 free. But as you tell, the boo didn't move.
I mean, again, I still think this is a pretty decent run. I mean, this is a 32 moonshot. I mean, this is like 102, 103 pace, which is 3 minutes ahead of his PB. So
Vicious not electing to clear laundry room. I guess maybe I mean, I guess it just makes sense. If you're unfamiliar with it, you're gonna have a problem with clearing it before the butler comes in. You might as well do the butler because that is the longest thing. What an instant shot. That angle is not
moonshot from Anthony
looks.
was insane. That was pretty good.
That was a sick moonshot. We have a setup for that, but the angle's weird, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm hitting the moon." You're not. It's weird. And yes, this mansion has its own moon. I know it's quite insane, the scope of it. So the butler in this case, since he actually did engage with it, won't go all the way back and won't reset. It'll just kind of walk back in like this, sit down, and we'll have to do it again. But that is unfortunate that it dropped. I don't know if it was a mouse that screed by and hit him, or if it was just a pull off. Again, coming from Dark Moon to this game, the vacuum controls are completely different. And so it's a lot harder. There's a lot more of you controlling the vacuum.
Yeah, it's a lot more attentive. Like for
Yeah.
Dark Moon, I think it's what you charge up the meter and then press A. But in this, it's like every 10 HP you have to tap the control stick and you have to do it in the right direction. So you
Yep.
have to like really focus on making sure you're vacuuming up the ghosts. Now Anthony is in projector room, which arguably one of the worst rooms in the game because the ghosts are invisible, but their shadows are visible on the projection in the back, and that's the only way you can see them. So again, casually, this room can really suck. But
yeah,
hopefully,
especially if you don't know what's going on. Sorry.
something a little more important than projector room, though, there's a chance that we could set up a save warp here, and I'm hoping that happens either way, because that which shall not be mentioned may occur, and that would wake Pablo up
Oh,
from his deep slumber.
no way.
Let's see here.
There's no way it's gonna happen.
Oh, I think the boot's in the projector, because the radar like jiggled a bit when he was walking to the left still. So okay, he's got to let that boot slide. That boot's
This boo has a lot of leniency. He didn't want to grab the glove. He didn't want to grab the get the boo, get the boo.
I thought for sure he was walking through that door.
No, this boo is really weird. This boo has quite a bit of leniency in terms of, for some reason, it just takes a while for it to go. Definitely don't want to lose that boo. He's still able to save warp, which is nice. We don't get to see funny text. That's okay. And we're well on our way into to area 3 here. We're on the back end, and you notice we're going back to this hallway. It's kind of weird, right? We cleared this first. Why are we going here now? And that's because there are the twins that we now have to get in area 3, and so it just makes sense to come back here at this time with a save warp there, as you save warp right back into the foyer to be able to.
He is choosing to grab the money in hidden room.
Wait, he opened up the chest?
He did, yes.
Okay. Well,
maybe unfamiliar with where the boos spawn, which
yeah, no, that could happen too. And if he's just in A round and he doesn't have the mouse hole, meaning we're gonna have to have him now. Oh, you have to move away from the wall to do that.
So back to earlier, you're not supposed to know what to do with the twins. Like you come in and you're supposed to just guess, and you fail. And there's books on the wall in Neville's room, and if you go in there and read one of the books, it says that the twins are scared of the elements. And that's how you're supposed to realize, oh, I need element. So you come back and you spray the boxes with element.
Well, I mean, I think the harder thing would be, how do you could also just vacuum them and the box will shake, but how would you know that the mobile is how you spawn it? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just in the room, like just sitting around thinking, well, what is this room for?
I mean, that's actually very true. I never thought of that. I just miss the older genre of games that, you know, they didn't give you the answer right away, you know, like they didn't baby the instructions. They made you think a little bit.
And they're not like the craziest, hardest puzzles. Do you know what I mean? But they're just off the beaten path enough where you have to think about it a little bit. No twins double, but that's okay. I didn't expect to see it. That's an incredible hard trick.
I mean, even I didn't start doing twins double until recently, so it's a very high level strat. It's very hard. Boo is on the right side for Vicious, but struggling to activate the Boo. The Boo is in the bucket.
There he goes. He did get Mario's hat, right?
I believe so.
I'm just making sure.
And there you can confirm he is on emulator. You see the little save pop up.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was emulator. Okay, so Anthony's setting up for tech skip here. This is one of the easier tech skips to do. It's in the bed. And so we're going to try and get to the bed sheet as the boo hits 0. And he
darn.
just doesn't. It just doesn't straighten up. The vacuum angle is just slightly off to the right, and so it didn't grab the cloth. Had it grabbed the cloth there, we wouldn't have got that text, and we would be mirror warping. Which, by the way, any mirror that you scan with the Game Boy Horror like this warps you back to the beginning. Another thing that you wouldn't know unless you just scan a mirror. And now it's everybody's favorite time.
Yeah, so now we're going to talk to Clairvoya for about a minute and 45 seconds here.
Yep. You basically take all the items that you found from Mario, and you hand them to this fortune teller, and she tells you a little bit of a story about each item and kind of gives you some information. And for the most part, a lot of it's, some pretty vague stuff. There's lots of things about the spirits and, evil, and you really don't get anything until the last item. But when we get there, I'll hit you with the big keyword, and that's all that matters. You don't need anything else. It's not even a spoiler, because if it was in English, it literally outright tells you. So, Vicious with some nice sheets there, and actually really good control on Melody. Nice one cycle Vicious. There you go. Tackling Melody, and hopefully a good boost spawn. Anthony, I think on his 4th item now, maybe 5th item. Definitely. Oh, it's harp. Yeah, hate it when it's in the harp. No, you got to tap it. There we go. And Vicious getting those R pumps down. Okay, so that's it. So Clairvoya, after expending all that time and telling you all about the 5 items that you brought, she pretty much says she's got nothing else left, and you can go ahead and send her back to the painting. She had the boot just switched.
Locking onto the pearls, unfortunately.
Yep. At least At least he gets them right, so now you don't have to worry about the pearls, messing up this boo suck up, because that can happen sometimes. You quickly go and spawn the boo, and you grab the key while the boo's flying out, and next thing you know, you got a bunch of pearls that you're locking onto, because this game prioritizes everything other than ghosts first. So if you think the ghost is the #1 priority because it's about sucking up ghosts, you're wrong. Money, hearts, objects, bills. Maybe not bills. Bills won't do it to you, but most of the objects in the game will, and not very helpful. It is not very helpful to suck up money over the ghosts.
But so now we're making our way up to Blue Anthony did remember ice, which if you forget ice, that's very bad, because you need ice to clear Safari Room.
Safari is a pretty technical room to do correctly, so I want to see how he'll tackle it if we're doing singles. If he's going to do any of the push stuff. That ghost, it's kind of hard to tell because he's spraying it so quickly, but that ghost has a little water globe in his body, meaning that you have to freeze it to remove the element block. Otherwise, you couldn't just shine the ghost. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, I like that. So that is the way to do the double. You would just do it without the freeze. You would go in there and push it. Notice that he doesn't take any damage from pushing that big banana throwing ghost, the garbage ghost, is what we call him. It's one of the only ghosts nice. you can touch physically without taking any damage. So that was a really nice safari. But you don't use the elements very often to fight ghosts. But every once in a while they throw a sneaky ghost at you that requires you to have an element. You can't just shine them first. So.
This is actually a really good run for Anthony.
Yeah, this is. I'm hoping right now for a 1 cycle Boo Losses, which casually terrifying boss. If you are a speedrunner and you've got that knowledge in your back pocket, this is actually a pretty decently easy 1 cycle. There's a little bit of RNG with some of the boos, depending on how you line it up, getting stuck behind the statue and stuff. but
Now,
we should be able to see it. Vicious with a nice one cycle too.
Vicious is at 17 health, I believe it was.
If Red is still there backseating him, he better tell him to tap the tombstone for the heart.
And it looks like he definitely is about to do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Red. Because let me tell you, that is not time loss in this scenario. That is game saving. Almost gets the double there in a little bit of a backwards way. I like that.
Ice playing really well with Anthony.
Yep. Ice isn't out of balance. There's a possibility that could happen. Let's see that angle. I like it. Nice shot. I heard a lot of them. Come on. Come on, pick that one up. You're good. You're good. That's it.
So good. Oh, no,
it's okay.
It's perfectly fine.
Nicely done, Anthony. It counts as a one cycle. We take that. Way to go.
So to put it in perspective, Anthony's only about 2.5 minutes behind my 5907.
That's impeccable. I mean, he's coming up on a big PB here.
Now area 4 can be a little hard. I mean, that's saying he matches my 5907, but I mean that's the kind of run he's working with here. I mean, he has a lot of wiggle room to PB.
He does have a lot of wiggle room. I don't want to hit him with the commentator's curse. That's not what we're trying to do here. I want him to have a sick run.
Gloomy's about to take on, or Vicious, whichever one is about to take on Bogmeyer. Let's see if that goes well. But missing the Bogmeyer shot, actually. It's so hard to read depth in this game sometimes. Like it's hard to tell exactly how far something back is, and
yeah, the thing with Bogmeyer is too, and this is the ghost I practice every time I come in and play. I'm not the best runner by any means, but I mean, like, I played the game enough to understand, why I'm doing the things I'm doing, and why I shouldn't be doing the things I shouldn't be doing. Wow, what a fantastic! Now that is an impeccable Bogmeyer. Vicious, if nothing else goes right, know that was actually impeccable. I mean, kudos, dude. That is not easy to do, especially if you have no idea the whole pumping, the whole pump, and it's not like second nature for you. Like that's tough.
All right, so now we're coming up on Blackout for Anthony. Blackout is the section of the game where, I mean, Blackout is Blackout, right? The mansion enters a blackout, and you've got to figure out how to turn the lights back on in the mansion. And the best way to do that is to find a portrait ghost.
Well, what are you going to find? Why would you have to find a portrait ghost to turn the lights back on?
Well, breaker room suddenly became locked.
Huh. And yet, right, you think you go to the breaker room to turn the lights back on. I like that. That makes sense. But so you're telling me it's just automatically locked itself? Well, who took the key?
Grimly.
Grimly.
So we're gonna find Grimly, and we're gonna compliment his pants, and he might show us his heart.
Mm-hmm. I know that sounds a little weird, and there's a lot of probably like, why are you going to compliment his pants? What is that going to do? So explain why we have to like butter Grimly up, and why he's everybody's favorite uncle, and why people don't like him sometimes.
Well, Grimly, he's like, it's similar to early release, but a little bit different. He has a random chance to just keep waiting. It's like early release, except it can keep happening. For example, you could walk into the room and his heart is already showing. You get him right away. But then there's a chance that you enter the room and you wait a minute and a half for him to let you suck him up. You can just lose a minute and a half because he's not feeling very nice. And a lot of the male ghosts in this game aren't wearing pants. They just have the shirt, and then it turns into the bottom half of their body. So it's just kind of a meme to compliment the pants he doesn't have to make him show his heart earlier.
We do like to just give him compliments, like "Happy birthday, Grimly," and say nice things. There he goes. Hey, that's a good Grimly. See,
that is a very, very good Grimly.
Way to go, Grimly. Way to cooperate. I hope you cooperate for Vicious when he gets there too. Don't turn it around on us later. But yeah, there's no gimmick there. There was nothing. It wasn't his birthday. That wasn't like some kind of weird trick. You didn't step on a floorboard. There is nothing. You either stand there and he decides to, do his little woo where he scares you, and in turn you get him, or nothing. That's it. You just chill with him. That's the end of your run. You and Grimly. You take a picture with him, a little selfie.
I mean, 49-13, blackout. I mean, good. It's a good run.
It's definitely a good run, and the way that he's been playing, I'm sure there's time save. Again, I don't know the PB 100%.
I did look at his stream, and he's comparing against nothing, so I'm unsure of the actual pace, but
That's okay. I like the suspense anyway.
that is true, and we'll be able to tell as we get closer to the end of the game what his actual pace is.
I'm just gonna assume he's gonna PB, and then we'll go from there.
Now, we've already had 2 PBs, maybe, I believe, in the tournament. I know Dip was one of them. Dip got a 5-minute PB in his race.
That's fantastic. That's what you want to see. I mean, definitely you got a time and you say, hey, I want to.
The boo's in the the boo was either on that right side. This is another thing about the radar, by the way, is if it's not flashing red, it's behind you. So like it can flash yellow if you're further away from it, but if it's flashing really fast and it's yellow, it's behind you because it can never flash red if it's behind you. So right there when he was doing the center one, I knew immediately that there was something either in the right side or in the barrel behind him because it was flashing fast when he was opening the chest. Then he went to the middle and that red went away, but it was still flashing really fast yellow, which meant it also had to be in the barrel. So it was one of those 2 options, and you learn to be able to notice that right away.
Yeah, it just comes from playing quite a bit. Comes with some time and experience. Fish is doing some 360s, getting his exercise in, picking up the key. The game is just it's weird because you think emulator, right? Oh, super quick. Oh, Red, you got him.
It depends. It depends on the person's setup. It really does. Like
we don't know what else is going on in the background too, or anything like that, because it is using your actual computer and stuff rather than playing it off of a console.
Now, if you have a computer that handles the game pretty well, the game runs really fast. It saves maybe 20 to 30 seconds over console.
Right, and that's because of load times, and there is some lag in these rooms. That normally, there's lag in the rooms, and they wouldn't be present normally in emulator if it was running at 100%. And we're actually going to get to one of those rooms here in a minute, and we'll kind of point it out.
Anthony is going for the single soldiers, which is, I'd say that's definitely a good choice. And then the green soldier is going to come over while sucking up. This is, oh, darn. That was an insane chance if he finished the suck up. But he can start the third one right away. But, yeah, you got to be real careful if you're not in the corner. Those guys will pull you in circles. It's a lot easier if you're up against that bottom wall. You can actually manage the suck up pretty well because he can only, go to your left and go to your right.
This is definitely one of those things, and one of the portrait ghosts that I've taught myself an absolute terrible habit playing this game with the way that I pump the ghosts. I do it extremely fast. I don't wait the 10 HP. In fact, I just throttle I just take that thing for a spin. And so if a ghost has extremely hard pull, minus Bogmire, don't think it works on him. Bogmire is all about rhythmical and actually like taut pulls. But on Slim Bank Shot, which we're not going to see, and on those soldiers, you can pretty much like speed pull is what I like to call it, and it's really easy to take control because they're constantly giving you a really, really tight rope to pull against. And so I think he was actually kind of too slow with the pumps there, and that's how they got him. And probably a little off because they were doing the spin around thing, and it's just tough when that direction becomes anything other than a straight line. It messes with your head in like a split second, trying to figure out, well, which direction am I supposed to pull? Happens to me all the time. Happens to the best of us. Unless you're Joven, then you just wake up goated. Shoutouts to Joven wherever he is. I love you, shirt brother. Vicious letting that boo have a little slack. I like it. And nicely done on the one cycle there. Let's see what we got here on Armory. I think we're gonna see all singles here. I'm not sure. I mean, if anything, we'll get the triple set up. Okay, so we're doing the triple. So Armory has a couple of ways that you can do it. This is pretty much the way that a lot of runners do the triple. It still saves a good bit of time over doing those singly. You could do it like a burnless triple, which saves a little bit more time. But like, great job there. By no means is that triple free. And I think we're going to get an early boo read here too, which is fantastic. And so this is actually, and he already got cackles. So we're not going to be able to one cycle it. But this is one of the hardest boos in the game to one cycle. And I know that doesn't seem right because you're going to tell me, well, it's 15 cackles, 10 HP, 150. Couple of things. When you instantly lock onto a boo, there's a chance that you're at a weird angle and you're not super close to it, or it's high and it's too high and you get an instant double cackle. But also with this boo, the room lags. And so this is the only room where that 10 HP R pump needs to be slightly slower than you train yourself the whole time. You're like, oh, I'm feeling it. These are my 10 HPs. And then you get to that room, you got to change it up just for that room.
Yeah. I mean, that room is one room where I like, there's several points in the game where I absolutely do not let myself get distracted. And that boo is one of them. Same for Weston boo. You've got to be perfect with your R pumps. So now Anthony is going back downstairs. They wanted to make the game longer, so they made it to where you have to do a lot of backtracking between the basement and the attic. So we're gonna clear pipe room here. You don't necessarily need to clear pipe room, but we need a key from this room. So we'll see if they clear it or Anthony clears it. Clearing it is a fine option. It prevents you from having to deal with them while you're on your way out. One of them didn't spawn though. It looks like he is just gonna clear the room. Oh well, he missed it, so he's gonna wait to clear the room. It might be a better option to shake him off and just instantly, freeze him as he walks to the right instead of just sucking him up. But we'll see what he goes for. The ice element getting stuck on the barrier.
Yeah, I think he was trying to like he probably had it depressed, like he probably had it pressed down, and as it came back, it was just shooting ice shots after the cutscene, and that can happen sometimes if it gets stuck. But a nice cleanup, and I believe his last two boos are going to be. I guess he's just going to do Weston boo and Van Gore boo. I would believe are his 40. As you do need 40 boos in the any percent category to be able to go to the final boss. This isn't 100%. I know that number says out of 50, but I'm sorry. They will not be getting all 50 boos.
Misses the Weston one cycle. Weston can be really hard. He's almost worse than Bogmeyer, to be honest. In terms of how hard he pulls you. If he doesn't get stuck in the campfire at the beginning of your suck up, you're pretty much guaranteed to drop him. Just because he pulls on Luigi too hard. Now, there is something in the top right corner of the room there, but he might check bottom left first, and there is something here too. So if this is not, I think the boo switched down here towards him. Actually, he's getting rid of the pearls first. Probably a very good decision. And it looks like the boo just switched into that top left shelf there. If I could, actually say my words correctly. Okay, well
that boo's gone.
Yeah, unfortunately the fire element really messed with the boo there. Now this is a good thing. Good thing that he cleared pipe room because now he can walk in and get the boo instead of having to send him back down to Weston and having to walk back down to Weston.
This is a reason why a lot of runners, when they're new to the category, will do pipe room boo, and they will clear pipe room for this reason. Or wait, no, they don't get pipe room boo, right? They just clear pipe room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had to figure that one for a second. I know somewhere someone was going, come on now, they don't get pipe room boo. But they do clear it. You have to go into pipe room for the key. You do clear it for that very reason. Weston boo is not an easy one cycle by any means. That floor is slippery. We already talked about how when you initially grab a boo, there's a chance that you just start getting cackles like crazy. And so no chances.
And
Gloomy looked like he missed it. It was hard to see because it's lagging so bad. I thought he would have got it, but this is going to be tough. He cannot catch a boo in a dark room, and it went back into Nana. That's one of the things that we didn't clarify, but usually we don't run into an opportunity.
I have confirmed Anthony's PB is a 106.06.
Okay, so the leaderboard was right because I looked at it I looked at the leaderboard before we started, and so that's cool. So he's in the driver's seat. He's in the driver's seat right now.
If he has a really good in game, I mean, he could PB. He could get a 105. Like we'll see. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what the pace is here, but
we just need some good triples here. This is Van Gore, creator of all the ghosts. Spoiler alert: he probably made the portrait ghosts too. There's a little bit of a like a Luigi conspiracy theory type stuff about it. We don't know. We've never got confirmation. Maybe we've gotten confirmation. But it seems pretty obvious he created most of these ghosts, if not the portrait ghosts, which we're like 90% sure he did. At least these that you're seeing him pull out of the paintings. Yeah, with his evil henchman Butley Mouse. I mean, Butley Mouse is literally, we didn't get to see him, we didn't comment on it, but Butley Mouse is definitely in on it. Has to be. That's a tough one. That he got the triple. It's just the pulls on those are quite a little bit strong. And they kind of split him. One went left, one went right, and so.
So what we're looking for in order for him to PB, nice. That was actually really good on that the grabber triple. But what we're looking for, it's about 2 minutes from when you walk up to the King Boo cutscene for you to complete the game if you get a clean 2 cycle. So we need him to walk up to King Boo at 104.04. Ideally,
right,
or 104.06. I mean,
at the very least, we know he's gonna walk up to King Boo. Oh, he misses that grabber. That's okay. The garbage goes. We need him to walk up there with like a 103.40, something like that. That's what we're looking for. He's gonna burn these 3. You don't suck these up. You just burn them.
I mean, if he, I think he could do that even if he. Well, I think he has to two cycle Van Gorbu here in order for that to happen.
I did forget about Van Gorbu. But he's going to 2-cycle Van Gorbu. I'm not even worried about it. We're going to get easy 2-cycle Van Gorbu, easy 2-cycle King Boo. And I read your message, by the way, because I was talking to HT about it. And it's all good. We got to do what we got to do. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it is what it is. I think they even brought it up in the commentators thing, that there's going to be a cap on it. So it's nothing we can do about it, and not to be like rude or anything, but like, we have other games literally waiting on it to finish. But let's approach that when we get there. That's actually okay. 180. There's a possibility. I've seen it done. Obviously, you're gonna have to boo drag him and things like that. So the best thing for him now is to get it as low as he can and then go out the door quickly so that it resets fast. He needs to beat this boo out the door, or he needs to go back in before the boo goes in. One of the two. And he is. Okay.
He already did. Okay. Well, let's.
This is still tough. It's not guaranteed, especially because of the wall. Come on,
okay,
get those pumps. Get those pumps. All right, that's good. Let's take it.
So we need to walk up to King Boo by 104. I'm going to say 104 just to make
104 is good enough. Get there. Be a little speed.
And if he does, this is corners. Pace. So we'll and I think you can make it there by then, right? Like an entire minute from here, I think you can make it to King Boo.
100% you can.
So while we're walking down, we do have another match coming up. It's Yosher versus Varia, and SpeedGaming has a lot going on right now. So as soon as Anthony finishes, we're going to do like a really fast interview, and then we've got to move on to the next match.
Yeah, we will unfortunately have to DNF. The cap would be an hour 30 usually, but given the fact that we were already slightly behind and we still have another match and there's other things scheduled.
Also, 103.47 walk up, 103.46. So
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
He can get a PB.
Give him your energy, because like let me tell you.
Oh, he's not mashing. He's not mashing.
Oh no! That's free time. It's free real estate, Anthony. I believe in you. He's gonna get it though. There's no way he doesn't.
He had no ER. He had no
right.
Chauncey one
None of
cycle.
that.
He had no parlor tech skip, and he's on PB pays.
Yep. He had no parlor tech skip. He didn't even get the Lydia tech skip. Like so. This is actually a remarkable PB. You can already tell that he's going to get better every run. That leaderboard was a month ago, and you can already see a tremendous improvement in some of these areas. Like just from the shy doubles and stuff, right? You can see the consistency picking up. Like it's the little things that matter. Everything's going to come with practice. The fat canceling, the movement, things like that. It all comes with practice. Don't lose your PBs to King Boo text. Don't do it. All right, here we go. Give me your energy. I believe in you. Okay, I thought he was setting up for insta shots, dude. I was about to get out of my chair. Like, I know there wasn't going to be a 1 cycle, but it's like I do insta shots just a 2 cycle.
All right,
they're fun.
I'm holding my breath.
Come on, get him low. Nicely done. That's pretty low to the ground. Get those pumps in.
That's good. That's
doable.
Good.
That's doable, baby. That's doable. That's 240. Another crispy one just like that, Anthony. You're taking it home.
I'm so nervous.
Dude, I'm sweating for him. This is actually getting my like I got my Wii sitting right here next to me. It makes me want to plug it in and just go slam a run out. Come on, get it down a little bit lower.
Oh no!
Oh, this is gonna be tough because he's so hot. He's leaving it. Oh,
that's it.
Shucks. It was right there at the end. He backed up a little bit for the ice, a little too far, and you saw he lost the boo for a second. That's all it takes. Also, the boo needs to be slightly lower to the ground. But we live by King Boo, we die by King Boo. Everybody has been here before. Oh Lord, we've seen so many runs.
That is so unfortunate.
And that is time on Anthony, as I had done slightly afterwards. But GG's, Anthony. You got to take that run. This is a race run, might I add. Okay, and you played it impeccably well. And so, if you don't mind sending an invite to Anthony and Vicious,
I believe it automatically does when you hit done.
Okay.
Do we just hit forfeit on Vicious because we gotta?
Yeah,
I gotta move a little bit.
I will. And if Vicious, if you can hear me, Red, if you can hear me, obviously there's no hard feelings. If we weren't, again, I'd give him the extra 24 minutes if I could to finish it. But our hands are kind of are tied on this one in terms of the schedule.
All right, Anthony.
Welcome in, Anthony.
Dude, Anthony, you almost PB'd.
I know, it's a heartbreak.
And guess what? You didn't have ER. You didn't have Parlor Blue Tech Skip. You didn't have Chauncey 1 cycle. So you've got a lot of wiggle room to PB.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I give you kudos.
That was an interesting run. Because that was a really bad area too.
And you lost 2 boos. You lost 2 boos as well. So,
but I golden Colossus, I golden Rooftop, I golden Weston.
Nice. That's very good actually.
So it's, I don't know. The part that's gonna kill me is I don't know if I would have PB'd if I just went for path 3. I didn't think I was going to. Sure. That's why I didn't go for it.
Okay,
well,
probably could have done fast 3 and did it, but you were going for the 2 cycle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had it by all rights. You had it. He was being a bit of a stickler, and he wasn't coming down. But like by all rights, you had it. I mean, we're talking. It's the make or break on like a pass room by a few seconds. You know what I mean? And obviously, you know where you want those things back.
Yeah.
All right. GG's on the run. We have another race waiting on this room, so we do need to actually go ahead and migrate our way out. Thanks to SpeedGaming. And I will be here for the next race actually as well. So
back to back, triple
back to back, Sky. Triple back to back, Sky.
Yeah.
I am, yeah. So
Anthony, anything you want to say real quick while we wrap it up? I don't want to take away from your glory. Congratulations on the win.
You know what?
Next time your PB.
Yeah, if there is next time. There might be, actually. I don't know.
You'll be.
Well, thank you.
There's always a next time. Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you everybody for watching. Kai, thank you for joining me. SpeedGaming, thank you so much for hosting. And we can wrap it up and switch it over.